Another war has broken out in the Middle East, despite Donald Trump's promise to bring peace to the region. So the question is, will the world's most incompetent president join Israel's fight against Iran, or let them go it alone? And more importantly, what does this all mean for you? Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. Despite being unable to persuade the First Lady to sleep with him or even move back into the White House for his second term, Donald Trump marched into office in January swearing he'd usher in a new era of peace. In his inaugural address, Trump proudly proclaimed that his legacy would be that of a, quote, peacekeeper and unifier, vowing to, quote, stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to the world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. Well, as we often ask here, how's that going, Donald? On Friday, June 13th, a major war erupted in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. The conflict began when Israel launched a surprise coordinated strike on multiple Iranian targets, including nuclear sites, killing several of Iran's top military officials. Iranian officials say more than 250 people have died and over 1,400 have been injured since Friday. Iran has since retaliated, killing at least 24 civilians in Israel and wounding hundreds more. Israel is now calling on the United States to join their military campaign. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Israel didn't just strike Iran out of the blue. They struck because they assumed America would always have their back, no matter who is president. But why should we? Why should the United States back a far-right prime minister like Benjamin Netanyahu, a man who's more interested in staying out of prison than staying out of war? A man who will do anything, including launching a second regional conflict, to cling to power. Iran is a brutal theocracy with a dangerous regime, but they have so far not proven to be irrational. Iran wants nuclear weapons for the same reason North Korea has them: survival. They saw what happened to Iraq and Afghanistan, two regimes that didn't have nukes and got flattened by the US military. Meanwhile, North Korea, a country that starves its own people and threatens its neighbors, still stands untouched because it has the bomb. Iran sees the nuclear bomb as an insurance policy, and until Israel's strike, they hadn't officially crossed the line into building one. They were playing the long game, enriching uranium slowly while avoiding the final provocation. But now, with missiles flying and leaders dead, the calculus may change. The irony is, there was once a diplomatic off-ramp to this conflict. Back in 2015, President Barack Obama, along with 5 other world powers, negotiated the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, aka the Iran nuclear deal. The agreement severely limited Iran's nuclear capabilities in exchange for sanctions relief. Yes, it was flawed, but it was working. The UN nuclear watchdog repeatedly confirmed that Iran was complying with the deal. But Trump, ever obsessed with undoing Obama's legacy, tore up the deal in 2018. Why? Not because Iran was cheating, not because the deal wasn't working, but because Donald Trump's ego couldn't handle the fact that his black predecessor had secured the most effective diplomatic agreement in the region in decades. Since Trump tore up the Iran nuclear deal, the country in West Asia has ramped up its enrichment. Today, Iran reportedly has enough fissile material to build 10 nuclear bombs, though weaponizing it would still reportedly take months. Israel believes it's now or never to take Iran out, and so the bombs are falling on Iran. People are dying, and Trump is posting on social media. On Monday, Trump posted recklessly to Truth Social, quote, "Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran." Tehran isn't a tiny village. It's the capital city of Iran, with more than 9 million people, larger than New York City. Imagine a foreign leader calling for the entire evacuation of New York City in a single day because it might be attacked. Chaos would surely ensue. This insanity from the same man who campaigned on ending endless wars, the same man who said he'd restore peace in the Middle East, the same man who promised to solve the Ukraine war in 24 hours and has done nothing to end it. Trump now claims he warned Netanyahu not to launch an attack on Iran. But after the bombing began, he called the strikes, quote, excellent, and warned Iran that, quote, more is coming. So which is it, Donald? Trump's indecision reflects a deeper fracture within the Republican Party. On one side are the hawks, the neoconservative, pro-Israeli establishment, who have long dreamed of bombing Iran off the map. They see this war as long overdue. On the other side are the populist isolationists, the America First crowd, who want nothing to do with endless war in the Middle East. This includes voices like Tucker Carlson, who recently wrote, quote, if Israel wants to wage this war, it has every right to do so, but not with America's backing. And guess what? I actually agree with Tucker. There is no compelling reason why the United States, especially under Trump's erratic leadership, should enter a war instigated by a right-wing Israeli government for its own domestic political gain. Yes, Iran is a threat. Yes, Israel has a right to defend itself. But that doesn't mean we should do Netanyahu's bidding, especially when he launched this attack knowing full well it could drag us in. But here's the dilemma that Trump faces. Israel has already struck several Iranian nuclear sites, but there's one they reportedly can't reach named Fordow, Iran's most deeply buried facility hidden under a mountain. Only America's bunker buster bomb dropped by a B-2 stealth bomber can reportedly take it out. If Trump approves the strike, the US becomes a full combatant in this war. That's the exact kind of entanglement Trump swore he'd avoid. And yet, his team is already positioning warships and missile defenses to help intercept Iran's retaliatory strikes. Iran has warned the US that their involvement would kill any chance of a new nuclear deal, the very deal Trump claims he still wants. America should obviously stay the heck out of this war. Israel acted unilaterally. They didn't consult Trump. They didn't consult Congress. They didn't build an international coalition. They just bombed Iran because they assumed, as always, that the United States would clean up their mess. That assumption has held for decades, but it doesn't have to anymore. We, the United States, don't owe Benjamin Netanyahu anything. He's under multiple corruption indictments. He's tried to dismantle Israel's independent judiciary. He's openly aligned himself with far-right strongmen around the world. He is not a partner in peace. He is a crisis addict who uses war to dodge his own accountability. This crisis isn't just about Iran. It's about who controls American foreign policy and whether we're willing to get dragged into another war we didn't choose, can't win, and don't need. For decades, America has spent trillions of dollars trying to remake the Middle East. We've toppled dictators, propped up monarchs, fought wars, signed peace deals, and buried thousands of our own in desert sand. And what do we have to show for it? Afghanistan back under Taliban rule. Iraq still unstable. Iran closer than ever to a nuclear bomb. Israel now governed by extremists. And America in massive amounts of debt. Ironically, Trump once understood that Americans were sick of all of this. That was part of what helped him win the 2016 Republican presidential primary and the presidency. But now he has to govern, and he's trapped between two warring factions of his own party. If Trump backs Netanyahu, we're in for another endless war. If he stays out, we preserve American lives, resources, and credibility. He once ran on no more stupid wars. Let's hope, for once, he remembers it. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please consider supporting my channel via the Venmo link below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.